Welcome to the lesson on personal protective equipment, abbreviated as PPE for battery electric vehicle, abbreviated as BEV Technicians. Working on BEVs poses a unique set of safety hazards, as BEVs contain high voltage, abbreviated as HV components. In this lesson, we will cover the different types of PPE that BEV technicians must wear to protect themselves from electrical shock, arc flash, and other risks. Let us now look at our lesson objectives. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to understand and describe arc flash and describe why a thermal runaway occurs. You will also gain an understanding of the Occupational and Safety Health Administrations, abbreviated as OSHA, and National Fire Protection Associations, abbreviated as NFPA, pivotal role in workplace safety. Next, you will be able to identify and select the appropriate PPE needed when working on BEVs. And finally, you will be able to describe the different PPE to equip and protect yourself and others while working on BEVs. BEVs use high-voltage HV batteries that can pose a shock hazard if improperly handled. Technicians should know the potential dangers of working with BEVs and take precautions to stay safe. BEVs contain flammable components, such as the battery, that can catch fire if not properly maintained. You should be familiar with the fire safety procedures for BEVs and know how to respond to a fire. BEVs are heavier than traditional gasoline-powered vehicles, which can pose a safety hazard during towing or repair. You should know a BEV's weight and handling characteristics and take precautions to avoid accidents. Remember that electricity will take the path of least resistance. This means that electricity will always take the easiest way to get from one point to another. If two paths are available and one path has a lower resistance than the other, the electricity will always take the path with the lower resistance. If you touch a live wire, the electricity will flow through your body. This can cause shock, which can be painful or even fatal. Electricity can disrupt the electrical signals in your body. Even a tiny amount of current can cause your heart to stop beating or your muscles to contract uncontrollably. PPE can help to insulate you from electricity and prevent you from getting a shock. An arc flash is a sudden release of electrical energy that occurs when a high-voltage HV electrical current jumps across a gap between two conductors or when insulation breaks within an electrical system. An arc flash can generate incredibly high temperatures, much hotter than anything you would encounter daily. It can reach temperatures as high as 34,000 degrees Fahrenheit or 19,000 degrees Celsius. To put this in perspective, the sun's surface is around 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit. This release of energy can result in an explosion accompanied by intense heat, blinding light, and a blast of pressure. Arc flashes are extremely dangerous and can cause severe injuries or fatalities to personnel working on or near electrical equipment. Safety measures to prevent arc flash incidents include using appropriate PPE, conducting arc flash risk assessments, implementing safety protocols, and ensuring proper equipment maintenance and labeling. A thermal runaway is a chain reaction that occurs in a battery when the temperature inside the battery rises uncontrollably. This can happen due to several factors, including an unbalanced chemistry of a single cell, overcharging, overheating, short circuit, or physical damage. When a thermal runaway event occurs, the temperature inside the battery continues to rise rapidly, which can cause the battery to rupture and release flammable gases. These gases can then ignite, causing a fire or explosion. The initiation stage is when the temperature inside the battery starts to rise. Several factors, such as the unbalanced chemistry of a single cell, overcharging, overheating, short circuit, or physical damage, can cause this. The acceleration stage is when the temperature inside the battery rises rapidly. The termination stage is when the thermal runaway event stops. This can happen when the battery ruptures, releases flammable gases, or is destroyed. The Occupational Safety and Health Administration, OSHA, is a federal agency in the United States, U.S., that sets and enforces workplace safety and health standards. OSHA was created by the Occupational Safety and Health Act of 1970. The OSHA Right-to-Know laws, also known as the Hazard Communication Standard, require employers to inform their employees about the hazards of the chemicals they use in the workplace. These laws also require employers to train employees to protect themselves from these hazards. The OSHA Right to Know laws give workers the right to know the names of the chemicals they are exposed to, the dangers of these chemicals, the precautions they need to take to protect themselves from these hazards, and the emergency procedures that should be followed in the event of a chemical spill or release. Employers must provide this information to their employees in various ways, including material safety data sheets, abbreviated as MSDS, or safety data sheets, abbreviated as SDS, labeling, and training. MSDS or SDS are essential documents that provide detailed information about the properties, hazards, safe handling, storage, and emergency measures related to a specific chemical product. Workers have access to these documents that describe the chemicals they are exposed to. They also have the right to refuse to work in a situation where they are exposed to a hazard without the proper protection. The general requirements for PPE 1910.132 include that employers must select appropriate PPE based on the risks present and to ensure that employees who obtain their own PPE follow the employer's selection decisions. This change is intended to ensure that employees are provided with the PPE they need to protect themselves from the hazards in the workplace. The second requirement is that employers prohibit using defective or damaged PPE. This change ensures employees are not exposed to dangers because of faulty or damaged PPE. The final need for this standard is that employers must train employees to use their PPE adequately. This change is intended to ensure that employees know how to use their PPE properly and what hazards they are exposed to. National Fire Protection Association, NFPA, 70E, formerly titled the Standard for Electrical Safety in the Workplace, is a global nonprofit organization developed by NFPA that outlines safety practices for electrical work. NFPA, like OSHA, states that employers and employees are responsible for preventing injury. The standard aims to protect workers from electrical hazards, such as electric shock, arc flash, and arc blast, by providing a comprehensive framework for safe work practices, equipment, and maintenance procedures. NFPA 70E covers various aspects of electrical safety in the workplace, including hazard identification, work practices, equipment, and maintenance procedures. The Hazard Identification Standard outlines a process for identifying electrical hazards, such as evaluating voltage levels, equipment conditions, and work environments. The Work Practices Standard provides guidelines for safe work practices, such as de-energizing equipment, using appropriate PPE, and establishing safe work zones. The Equipment Standard specifies requirements for selecting, using, and maintaining electrical equipment, including tools, meters, and protective devices. The Maintenance Procedures Standards establish procedures for safely maintaining electrical systems, including inspections, testing, and troubleshooting. Compliance with NFPA 70E is crucial for ensuring the safety of electrical workers. Manufacturers involved in electrical work should implement the standard's provisions, train their employees on electrical safety practices, and regularly review their electrical safety programs to ensure adherence to the standard. This lesson will cover a range of essential PPE that every BEV technician should know. This includes gloves, eye protection, flame-resistant, abbreviated as FR, or arc-rated, abbreviated as AR, clothing, and safety footwear, which are critical in keeping you safe while working on BEVs. Utilizing rubber gloves rated for the electrical potential in combination with leather protectors offers a robust defense against electric shock hazards. Similarly, opt for non-conductive and scratch-free safety glasses and face shields to safeguard your eyes from various workshop dangers, including electrical hazards specific to BEVs. These precautions are essential to ensure your safety and well-being while performing your job effectively. Flame-resistant FR or arc-rated AR clothing is crucial to your PPE. Flame-resistant FR clothing, made of non-melting or non-flammable materials like flame-retardant treated cotton, shields you from thermal hazards such as fires and intense heat. Flame-resistant FR or arc-rated AR clothing is an indispensable component of your PPE when there is a fire risk or flame exposure. These specialized garments protect you from thermal hazards like flash fires, arc flashes, or intense heat. Flame-resistant FR or arc-rated AR clothing is flame-retardant treated 100% cotton fabric. This fabric has been chemically treated to resist ignition and slow the spread of flames if exposed to a fire incident. This treatment ensures that the clothing remains flame-resistant throughout its use. Electrical hazard, abbreviated as footwear, is a crucial element of your PPE. Electrical hazard footwear is specifically designed and tested to provide electrical insulation. This means it can withstand certain levels of electrical current without conducting it through the sole and into your body. When working around BEVs or high voltage HV electrical systems, electrical hazard footwear is necessary to protect yourself from electrical shock hazards. Prioritizing these safety measures is a compliance requirement, ensuring your safety and the safety of those around you.